Hello, Sagittarius. Thank you very much for tuning into your love read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. For supportive oracle cards, Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. Already shuffled. We're going to do relationship first, single second. Oracle cards come out where needed. Okay. My first thought was this is dragging on a lot longer for your partner than it is for you. Fruition. Fruition seems like the whole thing. Something has come to its peak. Like fruition is a lot like that, in my opinion. It's like the fruit is there. Fruition. You know what I mean? This is what you've been working for, what somebody's been working towards. Now they've gotten it. Now what? Excuse me. Your partner, like, I feel like it's a lot to do with them, though. They're going through a change. I'm seeing the change card on their side, and I'm seeing the Eight of Swords. Like, it's like they're trying to elongate the fruition. It's like, if you're at the height of summer, and, like, the squash, I'm guessing, tomatoes, whatever you got going on at the height of summer. I don't know if squash is right. I think squash is actually fall, when I think of it. But things are coming to fruition. There's a lot coming, but it's like, how long will the vine yield fruit? And they're trying to get it to stretch out. They're trying to stretch it out is what I'm getting. But change is right there saying, you know what, you're only going to get so long. Like, the seasons will change. Now, on your side, I'm kind of getting the feel that you get this, and you're seeing your partner go through this. You're like, I feel like you're kind of like, you know what, I would like it to last too. I'm kind of feeling your energy there with Sagittarius. I'd like it to last too, but, you know, it's going to pass. Like this isn't going to, we're not going to get, you know, a whole year of this. We're going to get a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so, and this is going to go into a new phase. But I feel like it's kind of like the reason there's a problem here, because you have the Two of Cups as your challenge card, is kind of like, what does it hurt? I'll let it work out. When it starts to change, then we'll deal with it when necessary, but I'll let my partner enjoy it as long as they can. And you also have the Queen of Pentacles here. Like, you know, changes will happen. There's no way around it. It will happen. And I feel you're standing there with both of these cards, kind of like letting your partner do what they want to do, realizing that, you know, the season will change. It will change. There's no way around it. It's kind of like, well, I'm up in New York, so making summer last indefinitely, not going to happen. Or at the very least, it's not going to happen in a good way. Let's do that. Your partner, on the other hand, they're really working hard to, like, find a way to make this keep going. It's almost like they have this weird thought that, like, we can build a greenhouse around the garden, and then it'll be warm enough, and we'll get longer yields. You know, we'll get more fruit off the vine here, more vegetables and all other stuff we got going on here. We'll get a lot more. We'll build a greenhouse around it. It'll keep it warm. Yeah, that'll work. It seems very odd, in my opinion. I'm feeling this energy, and it's like, even the analogy to me feels very odd. It's kind of like, that's a little extreme, and it's still, even though greenhouses keep things going during the winter, I still think there's a question about how much sunlight. I feel like they're trying to go bend over backwards, and it feels very unrealistic. I'm seeing you entertain the possibility, but not taking it overly serious. You actually have the Strength card on your side, kind of like you're looking at this, kind of like, you really think we're going to build a greenhouse around this? Like, seriously? That's, like, it's either the money or the time or both, and you're just kind of like, who, what? Like, I feel like it's that whatever they're doing and they want to elongate it, you're just kind of like, that's not grounded in reality. But you're not really pushing back on it. You're just kind of like, reality will have its way. Because you're still standing here like, you know what? The season will change, and this pie-in-the-sky idea your partner has, not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not based in reality is how you're looking at it, is what I'm getting. As this keeps going forward, I feel like the challenge card for your partner, it's like what they're doing is turning into a challenge card. Like these two, I feel these are equal. Like when I read these cards, they're equal. They just have different perspectives. And they're going from the Queen of Swords to the King of Swords. I feel like the way they're acting is starting to become a problem the longer it keeps going. This pie in the sky idea, they're trying to find a way around things. It's just not in frame. It's not quite making it. And it's becoming a problem. Like they're not letting go of this idea. And it's just, I really feel like it's not based in reality. Whatever they're trying to do, technically it sounds like it could work if everything went correctly and money wasn't an object and time was doable, whatever. But it's not the reality of the situation is what I'm getting. I feel like if you were a millionaire, possibly. But still, even if you were, it's kind of like if I was a millionaire, I would just kind of move to a warmer climate and then call it even, wouldn't I? Still, like it's one of those things. It's just kind of like this doesn't make sense. But they're not backing off on it. They are going to come to a point where I feel like you have to come forward. And it's how you come forward that makes the difference. They have the Two of Wands coming forward. And remember, this is just an analogy with the whole fruition, with the whole, greenhouse thing. But what I'm getting here is they're coming to a spot where they're literally thinking of investing in this pie in the sky idea. And I'm getting, this is your part as an Empress. Your energy as the Empress to say, I would love to help you with that. But I don't think that's pliable for this year. And try to get them out of that. Because I see the Empress card for you. It's kind of like you don't want to stop them for some reason. You also have the Strength card on your side. I'm not sure why you don't want to stop them. Well, you do have the Ten of Pentacles on your side. You're like, well, there has to be a way to work this out without causing a big disruption. You're not looking to dash their dreams. And you're not looking to and they're really animate about it. They got the King of Wands here. Like, they are really animate about it. Like, I don't want this time to pass on. And I've got these ideas. I just need this to happen. I got these ideas about building this greenhouse. And you're just like, this is not making sense. But you're just getting along with your partner. And you're like, I don't think we need to make a big deal about this. But maybe if I can just push them off. Like, this season's not a good idea for this, but maybe next year, if I can push it off that way, maybe they'll just kind of let it go. Maybe. I'm getting what's happening here is your partner might invest in this idea, and it's going to be money wasted. Whatever this idea is, trying to fight this change, like, this is an idea that they're using to try to fight this change so the fruition doesn't pass by, so it doesn't end. I just feel like it's a bad idea. It's going to end up in wasted money. What they're advising for you is the Knight of Swords to step in and be like, this is not going to happen. We're not going to spend that money on that. We can't do this. You can try to be as diplomatic and nice about it as you can, but when push comes to shove, I'm feeling like you have to put in your 2 cents and say, hey, no, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. However, you need to tell that. This is how you need to tell that. Because I feel like you need to shut this down. Because it's going to be wasted money is what I'm really getting. Wasted money is where they're going with this. What makes things better for them, and it's hard for them to get here for some reason, then Page of Swords with the reflection. I don't see them liking this. I see you kind of pulling it in, like almost like pulling in the purse strings, like no. Like tightening the purse, like no. No. And I'm seeing like an old sheriff, like the Sheriff of Nottingham, just tightening up that purse going, no, we're not spending that on that. I'm feeling like they don't like that. But they seem to be backing off with it. When you pull back and you're like, no, we're not going to do this, they seem to calm down with it. And then they really have to think about what the deal is here. I feel like they might smolder on it a little bit. Like they might mull it over a little bit and kind of like be a little grumpy about it for a little while. But I feel like in the long term, they will know you're right. It's just like they're resistant to accept it, and they have that self-reflection card is making me feel like they really got to give it time and let it sink in. It's almost like when next year comes around and they want to do something again, like realizing that, this whole greenhouse idea, which is an analogy, I know, but it was not going to work for them. It was not a good idea, and it was right for you to step in and say no. I also see this as another option for you to get this to stop, and maybe more on pleasant terms so that you're happier and you're not having to deal with a grumpy partner. If we're going to use the same analogy of the greenhouse, telling them it's not happening this year, but insisting they do more research and saying we might, emphasis on might be able to do this next year, but you've got to do a lot more research. What's the upkeep? How much do the materials cost? How, we have to make sure that these things stay in place, and like we have to worry about wind damage, hail damage. If the roof gets a lot of snow on it, like what do we do to get rid of that, or does it take care of itself? Are we going to have to worry about leaks? How do we make sure it's airtight? Like insisting your partner does a lot more research on this, and that it's not going to happen this year because they need to make more headway in making research and explaining to you why this is going to work. I feel like that could be a very diplomatic end so that you're not dealing with such a cranky partner, and this could work out even better when it comes to the self-reflection. They're looking into it. They're looking deeper into how to make this happen next year, and they're finding that they don't really want to do this, or they're getting bored with the research and they're just kind of walking away from it because they don't really want to do any more research on it. One of those two seems to work. Either way, you definitely have to shut this down is what I'm getting. I feel like if you don't, it's going to end up with wasted money, and you're both going to be unhappy about that. All right, that's what we have for Sagittarius in relationships. Let's go into Sagittarius for singles. Single Sagittarius. What do we have for single Sagittarians? Messages for single Sagittarians. Okay. Possibilities, that's for sure. One more. Single Sagittarians. I feel like you've already left somebody behind. It wasn't a relationship thing, but I feel like there's almost like, for those of you this is really going to hit for, you've been on a few dates, maybe fairly recently, and people have had interest in you, and people have wanted to go farther with you, but you're like, that's not the fit for me, this isn't going to work for me, and you've decided no on a couple things. You've said no. And I feel like one of the reasons you've said no to other people, because they got the Emperor and they got the Hunger here. They wanted you to fill a role, or they wanted you to be like this, like, to fit into their life so quickly and to help them do this and help them do that. It just, you're like, this is not something I'm ready to get into. This is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for romance, and then once the romance is there, we're getting along, then working our lives together in a communal effort and building a future that way. And it just, I feel like you've walked away from some things recently that it just like, you weren't convinced they wanted you, they just wanted somebody to fill the role. I think that's what we're looking at. You weren't convinced that they were falling in love with you, or that they really cared about what you felt. They felt you were a good fit for the slot. Like you would do well in a relationship with them. You could benefit them that way. And you're like, that is not what I'm looking for. Not at all. I will pass. Thank you very much. For those of you this is hitting with. And this is also, you got the Five of Cups at the bottom, but you have the Ace of Swords at the top. Kind of like, you know what? I'm finding a lot of undesirable connections. Let's put it that way. Undesirable connections. I feel like it's a little harsher for those of you this is sitting with. You're not happy with what you're finding. Let's put it that way. But the Ace of Swords is like, you know what? If I have to dig a little deeper, if I have to search a little farther, if I have to travel a little farther, go out of my comfort zone a little bit more to find a good match, then so be it. I will do it. Because you are love oriented. You're not just like, I'm not looking to be the puzzle piece for someone else. I'm not looking to fit in with somebody else as a puzzle piece. I'm looking for love. Looking for love, and that's what I'm going towards. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to find it. That's the Three of Wands. I will go out there and find the love. I don't have it right yet. I'm not finding what I want. I'm finding people who like me as a component to their life, but they're not falling for me. I need somebody who falls for me and cares what I feel, cares what I think, wants to move forward in life based on both of our dreams, not just what they want and then me to help them make their dreams come true. I'm not looking for that. So I do see the Hermit in the environment here. This person is out there is what I feel like that's saying, but this is not coming forward easily. You get the Empress with the boundaries here. Like, you're not... This person is around is what I'm getting. And I feel like you're very diligently looking for this person with the King of Swords where you're standing. But you're also, again, you're like, all right, everything doesn't have to be perfect. And you're not expecting perfection. But one thing you will not negotiate on with the Empress in your thoughts is like, there's one thing I won't negotiate on. They have to be in love with me. They have to care what I think. Everything else doesn't have to be perfect. There's some good and some bad. Nobody's perfect. I'm not looking for, the perfect partner with the perfect smile, with, the perfect life, the perfect 2.5 kids. Or is it 1.5 kids nowadays? I don't even know. But, you know what I mean? You're not looking for that, stereotypical perfect relationship. You expect they're going to have some rough edges. That's fine. But you will only put up with that if it's a healthy relationship, fairly healthy anyway, and they love you. They truly love you and you fall in love with them. You got the Empress coming in with that too. These two cards are very good connections together. And I'm feeling like you are finding people to date or that have interest, but you're not finding what you want. Because it has to be somebody who really cares about you. Somebody you want to get closer to. Then it has to be a fairly healthy relationship, like you get along. You know what I mean? It's not as easy to find for some reason. Because if they honestly care about you and have interest in you, but you're just like, I'm not feeling it for them, well, it's still a no-go. You know what I mean? If they do care about you and you care about them, but they're kind of a toxic person, maybe they're very argumentative, or, they got a lot going on that you don't care for, and I feel like that's what's happening. You got boundaries here. You're like, I'm looking for the rest of my life. I'm not just going to be like, well, that'll do. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. As we keep going to the end of this, I still see you searching. I still see you searching. I do. You got the Page of Swords, but you have the Magician. The Magician can pull things towards them. I wouldn't get caught up in the gender of the magician. He, she, they, whoever the magician may be. You have the ability to pull somebody towards you is what I'm getting. I'm kind of getting the sense that you're out there looking currently. You're taking action. You got the Three of Wands here in the center. You're out there looking. You're looking here. Let me try this. I'll look here. Let me get involved in this group. Let me get involved in that group. Let me go do this. Let me go hang out with that. You're out there looking. I'm feeling what needs to happen is you need to pick a spot and wait for this person to come towards you. What does that mean, though? Like, I feel like there's something you're doing, like, for a lot of you, it's either work or some volunteer-related thing is where you're going to have the best luck. I'm not sure exactly how this works, just to be fair. I know this is a general thing. Volunteer work seems like that's really going to get you closer to what you're looking for, because I feel like you're going to find an honest person that really has an outgoing heart to other situations, and through volunteer work, you're more likely to find this person quicker. It's not the only way this person's going to come towards you, because I feel like this person is kind of like they're gravitating towards you slowly, but that's one way I feel like this could go a little faster. Because I feel this person is approaching you, and you got to let them kind of approach you. But it's kind of like a slow get to know you, working together. You work well, they work well, and it's like building respect over time. I feel like what you're looking for, like through work or through volunteer, or for example, if you have kids in some type of school-related thing, if you help out with that, something like that seems like it will pull it forward a lot quicker. Just to be fair. All right, and that's what I'm seeing for that. Anything else with this? No. I think we're good. All right, so if you'd like a reading from me, go ahead, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.